Respect and gratitude is what we owe our military veterans and what they seem to value the most. This video tribute features 4 veterans from the Modesto area. To please his mother, Luis Molina wore his Marine dress blues when he returned to California after serving in Desert Storm. As he walked through the San Francisco airport, strangers called out to him and cheered, just to show their appreciation. It meant a lot to Molina.
I was a big letter writer. I think a lot of service people have the opportunity to communicate through electronic mail. That was something that we didn't have in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And so my letter writing yielded a lot of responses. So I think when I came home, I got to see a lot of support. I came home to San Francisco Airport. I was stationed on the East Coast in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and rarely got to come home to the West Coast. Wearing that uniform and coming through the airport terminal to where my family was, there was a lot of people who were supportive and clapping and saying thank you, and I was greeted to about 50 or 60 family and friends and a mariachi band there at San Francisco International. So I think I was really blessed and welcomed home, contrary to probably some other veterans in other conflicts. And I think this current time, I think a lot of people take it for granted. I think the long-standing conflict that's is on right now really doesn't give us an opportunity to honor not only veterans coming home right now, but veterans who died for this country, veterans who served this country well, and are in our neighborhoods. I don't think we need to wait for Veterans Day to honor them. I think we need to honor them on a daily basis.
Gary Bell was drafted into the Army in 1968 and spent 13 months in Vietnam. He returned home at a time when many Americans didn't honor their veterans. Today, Bell works at the place where military service is truly honored, at the San Joaquin Valley National Cemetery near Santa Nella.
Originally, I got drafted in January of '68. I was a combat engineer. I went through my AIT, or my basic training, at Fort Lewis, Washington. Then my AIT, I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And from there, I got lucky and went to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, where I went to a nuclear weapons school. Once I graduated from there, I went to Germany. Did not like Germany. And the only way they would let me leave the unit I was in was to re-enlist for Vietnam, which I did. And I went to Vietnam in November of 1968. I was there till December of '69. I get all of the respect I need here. I wish they would have treated us a lot better when we came home. It was something that was very painful. A lot of the guys still suffer from it. I'm in touch with quite a few of them that I served with, and they all feel the same. We got treated rather nasty in regards to we were the first soldiers to lose a war. And we didn't lose it. It just got ended improperly.
Al Menshew of Turlock, who entered the Navy on the whim of a friend, ended up in Korea twice during the Korean War.
The war started in June, and we got to Korea, I believe, in August, either first part of August, latter part of July. And we went up front, and it was really kind of scary at that day. We didn't know who we were fighting, really, and we thought maybe the Chinese, which they did later, come in. And I remember a funny thing that happened. We were going up on the front for the first time, what we call the bomb line. And we were all up on the flight, or the hangar deck, watching a movie. And all of a sudden there was this god-awful racket, this explosion and flashing of light and so forth, and everybody took off running to go to their general quarters station, including some of the higher officers. Turned out to be a thunder and lightning storm that we'd run into. There was a lot of shamefaced looking guys got back. While we were in Korea, we participated in the Incheon invasion, the Pusan perimeter, and later the Wonsan evacuation. At that time, I was on an aircraft carrier, so the war was a little bit more distant. We lost 3 pilots while we were over there, but they'd come back pretty well shot up. A lot of admiration for those Marine pilots. They'd come back with branches and grass and dirt stuck up under their plane where they'd flown into their own bomb blasts. They were really good pilots, some flying sergeants in those days.
Henry Ficken's 22-year career in the Navy spanned 3 wars. He joined at 17 with his dad's permission, and within 6 weeks was in the Pacific fighting the Japanese.
We were flying runs on the Japanese fleet. We carried 3 bombs, and we'd dive straight down at them and release them just before we pulled out. And we lost a lot of my friends and airplanes. We started out with 16 airplanes. It was in 4 months we was down to 2, and then they sent in replacements, and we lost most of those. And I was lucky. I guess I had a guardian angel, because I was in 2 airplanes that was shot up, and we had to take one and land in the ocean. And luckily that day the sea was calm, and it wasn't too bad a landing. And the other one, we had to bail out. It was on fire. So, like I say, my guardian angel was with me, and my mother went to church every day praying for us, because I had a brother in also. And from there, I went into a Black Cat Squadron, PBY Squadron, and we flew reconnaissance and air-sea rescue. And one time it was sea rescue, because a destroyer was shot up real bad, and it was sinking, and the crew was all bailing off of it, and we landed, and we picked them up, everyone we could pick up. We had men on top of the wings, on the floats, inside, in the wheel wells. There wasn't room to move, really. And after we got them all up, we moved out of range of the shore batteries and contacted another destroyer, which wasn't too far away. Took them about 3 hours to get there.